Right. So a few weeks ago, I was in Germany doing speaking at a museum, and on the panel, I talked about how I'd worked hard to get a seat at the table, only to realize that we needed more people, more women, more minorities at the table. And there was a musician in that on that panel that said, no, actually he rejects the table, that he, go away and create his own table. Anyway, got me thinking a little bit about this concept of, we say it all the time, if they won't create a seat at the table for you, bring your own chair. Or if they won't create don't beg for a seat at the table, create your own table. Okay. Now, first of all, what's the definition of a table? So the table would be where there is influence, there is where decisions are made, whether industry is whatever industry, whatever space, it's where there's influence and where decisions are made, and where access is had. Now, maybe let me break it down. Let me break it down in all these different things, and I don't know. We'll just break it down. So when someone says, for instance, that when somebody says that actually, if they don't have a seat at the table for you, bring your own chair. It just means that you find a way, an innovative way to be able to access that influence and access that power, or access the, or be able to have access. Now, a typical example would be Issa Rae. So if you don't know Issa Rae, Issa Rae has, she's an American woman that wanted to become a producer, director, actor in Hollywood, but was just not able to break into Hollywood. So she decided to do this thing where she created she used YouTube to create her own series called The Awkward Black Girl, and it became a wildly popular series. And that wildly popular series, then it blew up, of course, and a lot of people were watching it, and that allowed her to then get invited by Hollywood and the producers to create shows in Hollywood. So she got to create, I forget what it's called now, but I will put it in the edit, but she then got to create a show on TV, an actual proper TV series, and she's had the opportunity to produce and direct a number of things because she went away and created this YouTube series that became wildly popular, that allowed Hollywood to notice her. So essentially she dragged a chair to the table. I think it's the same thing for a woman in Ghana called Nicole, who also created a web series. She's now sort of into movies. She also created a web series called The African City. So again, you want to be able to access, or have influence, or be able to be part of, and you don't have, so you go away and you sort of create this thing that makes it that you're so remarkable that they can't help but invite you to be part of the sort of inner group, elite group, and be part of the thing that you've been trying to access. So that's one. Then the second one is, if there isn't a space for you at the table, don't worry about it, go and create your own table. That, I think, is the example would be what we did, or what I did with creating Women in Tech Africa. So those who don't know, Women in Tech Africa is the largest women in tech group on the continent, across 30 countries, a network of about 5,000 women that are supporting each other. Part of it was tech is a very male dominated space, and credibility, the men were in these groups creating, passing each other business, helping each other get jobs, promoting each other. And I thought, how about we go, in the boys club, right? And how about we go create the girls club, where we create the space where women can pass each other jobs, pass each other opportunities, essentially promotes nepotism, and grow. So that would be an example of going away and creating your own table, creating your own specific network, your own influence, which is very different. Do you get what I'm saying? Now, I don't know which is better, to be honest, that you drag, you find your chair and you enable it to sort of find space at the table, or you go away and create your own table. I think depending on what you're trying to get done, there are just some things that you still need to be able to access the influencers, right? So if you still need to be able to access the influencers, then it makes sense to then find a way to, drag a chair to the table. But if you can create that same influence on your own with a designated set of people and still create wealth, like with Women in Tech, it was about creating wealth among women and creating longevity among women in the technology sector, then we didn't need the male influencers. We just needed to grow steadily, right? So anyway, so I think that's it in a nutshell. When somebody says to you, grab a seat at the table, either bring your own chair to the table or create your own, at least practically what that means. I would like to sit down and actually think about what steps you take to do that. I don't know that we can make it generic, but I think that whatever it is, whatever you're trying to break into, whatever you're trying to access, you really have to sit down and make a plan. Does it make sense to grab a seat and come to the table and force your way to the table, essentially? Or is it better to go off and create your network? I don't have an answer. I think it's very situational. But yeah, I wanted to just talk about it. I don't know. I will look for more examples of people that have on both sides, to maybe we can find a pattern of which is better for which. Anyway, thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. I hope it was helpful. Let me know. Write me a comment. Let me know if it was helpful or if it was useful to know. All right, people. I'm out. Enjoy the rest of your day and may it be profitable. All right then.